Vox Box Podcast, Episode 3. Clean up on Alderaan Isle. Clean up on Alderaan Isle.
What is thy bidding, my master?
There is great disturbance in the force.
The Vox Box Star Wars Podcast. Your source for Star Wars comics, news, and more. And now your host, Michael Corley.
Welcome back to Vox Box Star Wars Comic Book Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Corley, where we are covering the stories of the Star Wars universe, one comic book at a time. We open with Star Wars number 3, titled Death Star. And we have Alderaan in view. Grand Moff Tarkin has Alderaan in the Death Star's sight. If Princess Leia does not reveal the rebel base location, Alderaan will be destroyed. And she has to say, Dantooine. They are on Dantooine. To which Tarkin replies, proceed with the operation. And there's a close-up, and it looks so much like the actor who plays Tarkin, who also played Doctor Who in the non-canonical movie. Fun little moment. And Alderaan is destroyed. We cut back to the Millennium Falcon, and of course, Obi-Wan Kenobi feels the passing of the millions of lives on Alderaan. We get the fun little moment of Chewbacca playing space chess with R2-D2. Again, at this point, he doesn't look like a Wookiee. He looks like a monkey man. And in the immortal line, Han Solo tells C-3PO that droids don't rip people's arms off when they lose. Wookiees have been known to do that. We see Luke Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi, and they're practicing with his lightsaber. His lightsaber is still pink. It's still a pink lightsaber, though it does look at least a little more purple now, a little more Mace Windu-y. Obi-Wan is warning Luke to look out for the remote's sensors. I didn't realize sensors shot lasers, but he puts the blast shield on Luke, and the blast shield doesn't look anything like the one from the movie. It literally looks like Luke has a giant ball of metal on his head. And in an almost comical motion, we see Luke missing the droid entirely. And that's when Obi-Wan tells him, stretch out with your feelings, Luke, in the dark. And Luke is able to block the remote with his lightsaber. By the way, the remote in the comic bounces off the lightsaber instead of blocking its blasts. This is another moment where the rules have not yet been set. Clearly, they are showing that in some cases, this lightsaber is simply a solid beam as opposed to a cutting beam. But these things become more and more set as time goes on. We cut to them coming out of hyperspace in the Millennium Falcon to a meteor storm. And that's when they realize that not only is Alderaan gone, but a TIE fighter is in among the meteors, which they chase, of course, to the Death Star, not realizing that it's no moon, and they are dragged in by a tractor beam. Now we cut to Darth Vader, and you know what that means?
Dramatic reenactment.
I told you she would never consciously betray the rebellion, unless she thought she could destroy the station in the process. She can still be of value to us. But in the meantime, I've received a report that we have captured the same Corellian freighter which blasted its way out of the quarantine on Mos Eisley. They must have been trying to return the stolen data tapes to the princess. We might be of some help there.
That amazing Darth Vader reading was from Corey T. Wilson from the Fly Casual podcast. Just like it's called, that's how they roll. They're a bunch of guys that just hang out, they laugh as much as they entertain, and they have pre-recorded sketches from time to time that I highly recommend you check out. You can find the Fly Casual podcast and Corey at betterkind.com. Thanks, Corey. Tarkin says that he will find the hidden fortress if he has to destroy every star system in this sector, really showing how bloodthirsty Tarkin is. We cut back to the Millennium Falcon and we see that the passengers have hidden in one of Han Solo's secret smuggler cargoes. That's when they are able to sneak into a small section of the Death Star and plug R2-D2 into one of the terminals, And they also find where they can turn off the reactor. Obi-Wan Kenobi says that it's something that he must do alone. Before he leaves, he tells Luke, "Trust your feelings, Luke. The Force is with you." But after Obi-Wan is gone, that's when R2-D2 realizes that Princess Leia is on the ship. And after quite a bit of arguing, they decide that they're going to rescue her. On the prison block, that's when they launch their attack, are able to kill the guards, and take out the cameras. I love in one of the lines, Han Solo tells Luke Skywalker, "Way to go, kid! You'll make a space pirate yet!" That's when Luke first looks upon Princess Leia, and there is an immediate attraction between the two. Anyone who tells you that George Lucas knew for sure that these two were brother and sister were lying. Of course, blasting like crazy in a prison cell is going to bring all kinds of guards. The stormtroopers are coming in. Princess Leia points out, "It looks like you've managed to cut off our only escape route." And Han begins to argue with her, something which they will continue for many years to come. Han Solo yells out, "All right, Chewie, start blasting. If we die here, let's take a bunch of them with us." And that ends Star Wars number 3. Each one of these that moves forward, you can see the iconography, the imagery of Star Wars beginning to coalesce in this comic, as the movie has already been out for several months now, and the artists are drawing more and more on the actual image rather than just the preconceived notions they had beforehand. If you'd like to see key panels from this issue, go to voxboxpodcast.com/episode 3. If you'd like to find out how you can become a dramatic reader for the podcast, at voxboxpodcast.com/Patreon. You have a wonderful day, and may the Force be with you.
No! You failed, Your Highness. I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
So be it, Jedi.
Thank you for listening to the Vox Box Star Wars podcast. Go to voxboxpodcast.com to see panels from today's comic. Have a great day, and may the Force be with you.